Hello, hello, hello. How's everybody doing so far? Wow, hello, hi, wow. Jesus Christ. How is everybody? A lot of people joined right at the same time. Crazy. Hello, hello, hello. Blue Jean Baby. Isn't that a, Blue Jean Baby? Isn't that like is that Elton John? I can't, I forgot. But I recognize the song. How is everybody? How is everybody? How is everybody? I want to see some hellos in the chat before we get started here. If you want to say hi, that is. There we go. First one. Hi. Hello, Jess. Anyways, okay, so today I want to talk to you guys a little bit about, finding your personal style. If you guys don't know anything about me, I'm an Instagram creator and I'm also a YouTuber, if you will, as well. I do a lot of stuff on men's fashion and men's style and grooming, yada yada yada. And I get a ton of questions about how to find your style, or like, in which direction do you want to go to, um, you'll get that base of your style, that kind of like your own little, the uniqueness that everybody kind of strives for when they're dressing, I suppose. So that is what I want to talk about today, and I got I guess, a decent amount of pieces, and also you can see a lot of the stuff that I want to talk about that are good foundational building blocks to, like, building your style. So, and feel free to ask me questions as well. Like, if you have any questions about, what to look for, or just if you're lost in general, just throw them in the comments. I'll be answering them right away. Um, but yeah, so essentially, I have them all written out as well. But the first thing you want to do is create, like, the foundation of your wardrobe, right? So when you look at anybody out in the world, when you look at, well, if you look at people who are considered, like, style icons, if you will, they have a very foundational wardrobe. Like, I like to talk about it, like, you can't build a house without the foundation, obviously. And the same principles kind of go to style and fashion as well. A lot of, especially people who are just getting into it and just trying to figure out what they like, um, the the best thing that I like to talk about, and the thing that worked for me, is just building the foundation. So getting things that are the essentials that every wardrobe needs, whether that be a pair of blue jeans, black jeans, whether that be a pair, white t-shirts, your basic sneakers, white sneakers, black sneakers, things that are the definition of the base of your wardrobe. So, like, for example, a perfect thing for you to be looking at right now. Oops, I'm gonna show you guys. Let me just, yo, what up, Andy? Or how I used to say, Andilla. What up? How are you? Boom. First thing, like I said, you're gonna want the foundation of your wardrobe, right? So I don't know if should I just take it. Nah, I'll bring it. I'll bring it to you. One second. So what I have shown to you guys right now is, so smiley today. Look at you. Yeah. Well, you know what? I'm here on Verishop, so gotta be smiling. A pair of light wash denim. I'm showcasing some to you right now. These are from Nudie Jeans. So basically, like, you want pieces that are going to go with everything. You want things that are going to essentially work as that foundational piece of the wardrobe. So, for instance, just a pair of, get this out of here. Get this out of here so I can see myself. I mean, light wash denim. Man, I'm not gonna. I can put them on for you, but essentially, like, it'll work even with this basic tee right here, right? So not only will it work with a basic tee, it'll work with sweaters, it'll work with sweatshirts, it'll work with jackets, especially when you start to refine your style and figure out things that are more important to you. Uh, a lot of everybody needs a pair of light wash denim, right? It's pretty self-explanatory, pretty mandatory. Um, so yeah, that's I would say that is the essential first step of building your wardrobe or finding your personal style is having a foundation that will work with literally everything going forward. Whether that be you get more into more designer pieces, or you go more fast fashion, or if you like to mix things with vintage, a good foundation is going to work for everything. So if there's any questions about that or like finding brands, um, check in here, because you know everything in here is pretty much foundational pieces, or at least things that have worked for me. Now moving forward, the next thing that I think is most important, this is where you start having fun, right? This is where you start finding inspiration. This is where you start to figure out what you like, what kind of makes you tick. For me personally, this is going to be different for everybody. What was that? Men, women, whatever pronouns you go by. Um, this is going to be no, I don't know what that was. I'm pretty sure that was my sister's boyfriend or something like that. I wish my cat could talk. Anyways, you're ruining my speech, my TED talk. I'm just kidding. Keep it coming. What was I saying? Inspiration. Different. What's different? Inspo. There you go. Got you. Yeah. So inspiration. So this is where you start having fun, right? This is where you start finding things that you enjoy, things that kind of like make you tick. For me personally, my inspiration comes from everything vintage. So I grew up on vintage. When I was going to like first grade, I remember my parents would make me listen to oldies in the car. Like not like oldies as in like Guns N' Roses or like AC/DC. Obviously, they made me listen to these too, but I was growing up listening to like the Temptations or like the Del Vikings, like extremely like doo-wop era. You know what I mean? Like that's my favorite genre of music. So I gravitate towards anything kind of like in that era, whether it be cars, clothes, music, all that stuff, jewelry, a lot of that stuff. A lot of my inspiration comes from there. I just think clothes back then were so cool, and I think the fits were super cool. And people were shorter back then, so things seemed to fit me better. seemed to fit me better. But yeah, this could be for anybody, and you can find inspiration anywhere you want. Instagram is a great place to find inspiration. Pinterest is a great place to find inspiration. If you like brands, and if you like the clothes that you see maybe in like magazines or stores, if you go to the brand website, typically they will always have a lookbook or some type of like campaign that you can get inspiration from as well. So there are so many different avenues for you, whether you are, like I said, man, woman, whatever pronoun that you go by. There's inspiration everywhere. And that is how you start to kind of like build that little style DNA to get out there. So like, for instance, here's a good example. I was talking about the light washed denim that we have right here. When you start getting a little bit more developed, when you start getting inspiration, like then you maybe find light wash denim like this, so it has a little bit more of like that vintage distressing on it. It has patchwork and stuff like that, so it's more in line with kind of what I'm inspired by, and it also gives the eye and the outfit just a little bit more of like a different dimension, different look to it, you know what I mean? So you got some still light wash denim, but it has that little personal flair to it that makes it your own. Okay, next is where you start to develop and kind of like refine things. So I'm going to show you some things that have helped me. So this is kind of like stage 3 of your style development. is going, actually, do you guys hold your threes like this, or do you three like this, or do you three like this? There's three different ways to do it. Yeah, so this is where you kind of like develop your own little style of DNA. This is what I was talking about, um, where you take that inspiration and you turn it into what you want your style to turn out to be. So, like I said, I'm inspired by very vintage pieces, but I also love to mix more modern pieces into my wardrobe. Like, for example, let me take you. Should I take you to this part of the closet, or should I take you to that part of the closet? What do you think would be better? I'm gonna take you to this. I'm gonna take you to this one first, and then we'll go to that one. Okay, look at that. Got some movement in the live stream as well. Okay, now when we're talking about starting to refine things, this is where you start mixing and matching. This is where you start coming up with your own looks, with your own kind of, you're experimenting. You're trying to find things that you like. You're trying to find things that you love, and this is where you have fun. So, for instance, let's go with this right here, right? So, this piece is actually from Verishop. However, it's sold out, but it's from the brand Banks Journal. I talked about this in a few live streams in the past, but it's actually from here. But I have some other pieces that you guys can check out as well that I think you will like. Let me just show them for you. Like this one right here. Oh wait, nope. Sorry, hold on. This is like the closest one I could find on here that you guys can still see. So I'm showcasing it to you right now. I really, really love the look of a button down short sleeve with like a tank top and some jeans. I think it gives off a very vintage look, but it also gives off a little bit, if you, depending on like the cut and the silhouette of the clothes. I'll throw an outfit on so you can see what I'm talking about. So I'll throw on the base layer piece that I was telling you guys about, the light wash denim. Give me a second. So light wash denim, right? Nice and classic, easy, goes with everything. Literally, it goes perfect with my shirt that we're wearing right now. Let me button it up and not, get a lawsuit or anything like that. So we have the denim, boom. Let me scoot you guys back a little bit so we can see the full outfit. Got the denim, right? Easy, breezy, cover girl. And then we're gonna throw on the shirt as well. Sorry, being on the phone, it's kind of tough. Even when I put it in Do Not Disturb, for some reason, it still kind of comes through. Man, I'm not quite sure why. iPhones, right? Androids are better. Right? So, like, the design of the shirt, it gives off that, like, vintage Hawaiian floral pattern, right? So we have, like, that vintage vibe, but it's a very modern cut. It's not going to be, like, super wide like a vintage cut would be. It's got that modern slim fit. You can just kind of wear it open, show off some jewelry, and then like throw the shoes on. Jesus Christ. Sorry if you guys can hear all those vibrations. Like I said, I don't know how to turn them off. However, now we have a full fit right here, which is, where you start to build your own little style DNA. I got this. I like to wear boots with everything that I have, so you kind of have like this very vintage. I guess it's even perfect for the summertime as well. I know some people are gonna be like, "Oh, it's too hot." It's not too hot. You'll be fine. But like you have a nice casual vintage inspired base layer, more modern cut, and now you have your own little style DNA, something that kind of resonates with you, makes things work for you, and there you go. That's where you just start kind of like building on things, where you start having fun, and where you start experimenting with things. Like, don't be afraid to step outside the box a little bit. Like for me, I wear women's clothing, I wear men's clothing. At the end of the day, it's all just fabric, right? There's no, it just has a label on it, regardless. This is also where you can. Let me sit down with you guys again, and then we'll move over to the other closet. This is also where you can experiment with jewelry. Now, back in the day, I used to not like jewelry whatsoever. I used to think that it did not look good on me. Um, it just wasn't something that I was into, you know. And then, like I said just a few seconds ago, you start stepping outside the box a little bit. You start seeing things. You start getting inspired by things, whether it be brands, whether it be people on Instagram, whether it be Pinterest, whether it be people that you see walking down the street. You get inspired by things, and you're like, you know, maybe I could try that. Maybe it would look kind of cool. So, you know, jewelry and accessories really make the outfit stand out. Like it if I look, let's do this for example, right? I'll give you a live example. You guys have you've seen the outfit now with the necklace. You've seen the outfit with the jewelry, with the watch. Actually, when we talk about watches, let me just show you. This is my favorite brand, by the way. Seiko watches are absolutely amazing. They're phenomenal. They're Japanese. They have Japanese movement. Oh my God, they're perfect. And there's one on here that I want you guys to see. So it's not the same exact watch because this is a discontinued watch that I purchased a while ago, but the one that I'm showing to you right now is pretty much exactly the same. Like it is a phenomenal design, phenomenal thing, but it's pretty much the one that I'm, right here. It's perfect. Um, but look, so we've seen it with the accessories, like it looks like a completed outfit. Watch when I take them off. When I take everything off, get it off my finger, excuse me. I'll hide the necklace because it's too hard to. Like, it just looks, you know, it looks naked. There's nothing here. There's nothing to like, there's no details. There's nothing to kind of like show off like your own personal side to things. I'll put them back on just so we can see the difference. Now you see, I mean, it's minimal, but you see the difference that it can make. Like now you can see there's something to look at on the hands rather than just like a naked basic hand. So accessories are an amazing piece of an outfit that once you start getting past like those phases of inspiration and getting past those phases of like your base foundational pieces of your wardrobe, this is where you can experiment with things and have fun with them. These are actually from my own brand, so but we can show you some down here as well. I'll get you some really cool. And then people always ask me about this necklace, right? It's a very minimal, basic necklace, but it has like this. I mean, I think it's a demon, but I'm just gonna say gargoyle. Regardless, there's one on here that I found that was pretty much, I mean, an awesome deal. $82. You can't find a better piece, but it's pretty identical to what you got going on here. So I'm presenting that to you as well. Unfortunately, this is from my grandpa. It's crazy, that's another thing is as well, like when you find pieces in your family that belong to family members. Like this was my grandpa's grandpa, so it would be my great 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 grandpa. He won it in like a poker game in like 1902 or something like that. So it just gets kind of passed down from generation to generation. So when you have pieces that are also sentimental, it helps you. It's easier for people to wear them. And then we're gonna get in. Is there any questions, by the way? Any like pertinent or like questions that people have about style or figuring things out for themselves or anything like that? I'm here here to help and here to answer any questions you might have. But the last piece, and it's a piece that I think I'm still working on as well, right? So your style is never the same forever. Style is always changing. If you look back 1 year, if you look back 2 years, if you look back 5 years from where you are today, where I am today, the clothes that you wear are going to be completely different. And some of the times you might be like, oh, I kind of like that. I might do that again. A lot of the times you're going to be like, what was I thinking? That's a lot of the stuff. That's how I am most of the time. So style is always evolving. Style is always changing. That being said, I think the fourth thing that you can do after you get past figuring out what you like, after you get past finding the inspiration to help you come up with ideas for outfits, and getting past the exploration and the what did I say? The developmental stage of like your style. I think the fourth thing is where you start to really refine it. The fourth stage, I'm sure there's a fifth one too that I haven't even thought of yet. But I think the fourth stage is where you start to refine things, and where you start to really kind of like come into your own style, where people are like, oh, okay, so that's what you're kind of like recognized for, if you will. So that's why I'm gonna take you this part right here, and we'll start showing you some other pieces. So, can we see this here? Okay. So this is where things are kind of refined, right? So up here, like I told you, I'm huge into vintage. All my vintage jackets are right here. And there's actually some vintage inspired pieces here on Verishop. I think they're sold out though, so there's no point in me showing them to you guys because they're sold out. But you can find more modernized pieces on Verishop that you would see back in like the 50s and 60s. Now, for example, let's just go with this one right here. Vintage piece. This is kind of what I wouldn't say what I'm known for, because I'm not really known for anything. But this is kind of like when people see vintage jackets, who at least follow me and are kind of staying up to date with what I do and the videos and stuff and the content that I make. Vintage jackets are what people kind of expect me to wear, right? So I'm gonna just show you what it looks like. So like I said, beautiful thing about having a base wardrobe, something that works with everything, right? Something that works with everything that you do. Base piece, refined piece. Something that there's a hole in the sleeve. Something that makes you who you are, makes your style unique to you, right? So it goes pretty much effortlessly with the whole outfit. The base layer jeans, like I'm telling you, the base layer goes with sweaters, it goes with suits, it goes with everything that you possibly want. And then you just have the vintage jacket on top. And this is how I kind of found my refinement of my own little style DNA. This is what kind of makes me tick. This is what makes me feel good when I go outside. And that's the most important thing, is wearing what makes you feel good. So once you kind of figure out that that stuff that you love, and that stuff, that your own little style DNA, you're gonna feel amazing. You're gonna want to go outside wearing that stuff all the time. Another thing is boots, right? So a lot of people love their sneakers. A lot of people, nothing wrong with sneakers, right? But when you start to figure out what you love, and especially when it comes to style, boots start becoming, what I did as refinement. Not only that, boots give me a little bit of height, which is never a bad thing. But like, for instance, these ones that I'm wearing right here, get them off for you. Just a pair of black leather boots with a pointed heel. You don't have to get as crazy as this, right? You can go very refined and very elegant, which is another thing that I want to show you right here. Boom, from Allen Edmonds, a very amazing brand. I have many pairs, but yeah, I'm showing it to you guys right now. Just a pair of black leather boots. You don't have to go crazy with anything. You don't have to get the metal front. You don't have to get the pointed toe. You don't even have to get a lifted sole like mine. However, the Allen Edmonds boots would do just as fine, like absolutely perfect with this outfit. Honestly, it might even look better. You know what I mean? Um, but just a pair of black boots, you know. So when you start finding that refinement, when you start finding the things that you love, that's when you kind of come into your own. Put this back on. Obviously, as well, we have suits. These are all my suits. I love wearing suits. I love wearing traditional suits. I also love wearing a more like modern fashion forward suit, which is like a tank top underneath. So there's a lot of rules, like fake rules, you know, and like in style and in fashion and stuff like that, that I feel are easily broken and don't really matter. It's just a lot of the old people think rules are important in style and fashion, but in reality, they're not. What's that saying? Rules are meant to be broken anyways, right? So, in general, yeah, I mean, that is kind of the easiest ways to find your style. I went over the first building block, which is going to be like your foundational pieces, like blue denim, black denim, shorts, a white shirt, black shirt, brown shirt, and then you can upgrade to more graphic prints, something whatever you like. You know what I mean? Second phase is your what was it? Your inspiration phase. That's where you go Pinterest, Instagram, walk on the street, magazines, brand campaigns, fashion week. There's so many places where you can find inspiration to help you come up with ideas for outfits or things that you would have just never thought of. Trust me, there's like things that I see, I'm like, I would have never thought that would go together. And then I like want to do it. So, inspiration. Number 3 is your developmental stage. It's where you start taking a little bit, you know, step outside the box a little bit. You take that inspiration and turn it into real life. You go out and, you know, maybe you can go to a thrift store. Maybe if you have the money, you can shop wherever you want. You can shop here on Verishop. There are plenty of places where you can start to develop that style and develop what you like. And then, of course, fourth is that refinement phase. That's where you really kind of pinpoint the things that you like. For me, it was the vintage jackets, it's the suits, it's the boots, that kind of stuff. So yeah, I mean, if there's any questions, I don't know how many people are actually here still watching, but yeah, if there's any questions or anything like that, feel free to shoot them over. I will answer them. There we go. There we go, Mark. There you go, Mark. Dun, 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 dun. How do you find the right sizing for your pieces? Short guys struggling to find the perfect outerwear piece. That's the tough part. So a lot of brands these days are, you know, clearly menswear in general, right? They are clothing is made for mannequins. Clothing is made to be shown on the runway. Typically, those people are not short people like us. So it's harder for shorter people in menswear to really find those pieces that fit us well, because there are, you know, proportions are a thing. Finding the right proportion is very important. Otherwise, it's just gonna look bad. It's gonna look oversized. It's not gonna look good. So a lot of what I do is I shop in the women's section. You know, no one would really ever know that a lot of my jackets are women's jackets or a lot of my sweaters are women's sweaters, because who would know unless I just told you. You know what I mean? So I would look in women's sections or hope and pray that when you buy something, you can look at the sizing chart and it works out well for you. But it's the unfortunate part about being short in menswear. But Is there anything else? Anybody else got any questions? I don't know how many people are still here, but if you have a question, feel free to send it over. If not, I will go ahead and end this live and then talk to you guys on Monday. Let's see here. Okay, I think that was it. I think that was all the questions that we had. Like I said, have fun with style at all. Only thing that really matters is what you wear and if you like it. Other than that, nothing else really matters. So keep that in mind. But yeah, I'll be talking to you guys on Monday, whoever's here. Next Monday, 3 o'clock, same time as always. And thank you for joining. Thank you for the questions. Mark, I get that stuff today in the mail. So yeah. All right, you guys. I'll be talking to you soon. Peace.